What's going on, everybody? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. I'm fixing my mic. I'm sorry about that. Guys, there's big news out of Memphis, and when I say big news, this is big news for all of y'all that want justice for Tyre Nichols and his family. Been just announced in the last few hours that after the DOJ, the Department of Justice, they were just down in Memphis, taking eyewitness accounts and different things about the Scorpion unit and police brutality. They've long since came up with their report, but something key then just happened in reference to these Scorpion team members pictured here. The 5 that were included in the beating of Tyre Nichols. The feds have just picked up the case. So they face a federal indictment as well as state charges. Ain't no escaping that. Once the feds got you, I don't know, they're gonna have to take deals. But I mean, that's the news. I'm gonna read an article that just came out by ABC News to you guys. And it has some interesting facts and what they were charged with. And I wanted to share that with you. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, guys, here's the news article by ABC News. It came out a little over an hour ago, and it reads as follows. 5 former Memphis police officers indicted in federal grand jury in Tyre Nichols' death. 5 former officers of the Memphis police force have been indicted by a federal grand jury in connection with the death of Tyre Nichols. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin III, and Desmond Mills Jr. were indicted on charges related to now listen to these charges. The deprivation of rights under color of law, including excessive force, failure to intervene, as well as deliberate indifference and conspiracy to witness tamper, according to court records. Nichols, 29, died on January 10th, 3 days after a violent confrontation with police following a traffic stop. All 5 officers also face state felony charges, including second-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated kidnapping in connection with Nichols' death. They pleaded not guilty. Tyre Nichols should still be here, Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark of the Justice Department Civil Rights Division said in a statement, "It is tragic to see a life cut short at 29 with so many milestones unmet, so many words unsaid, and so much potential unfulfilled. These federal charges reflect the Justice Department's unwavering commitment to protect the constitutional and civil rights of every American, preserving the integrity of the criminal justice system. We stand ready to hold law enforcement officers accountable for their misconduct because no one is above the law in our country." Mike Stengel, the attorney for Haley, that's Demetrius Haley, y'all, in his state case, confirmed he will also be representing him on federal charges. "The indictment is disappointing, but not surprising," Stengel also told ABC News. "He'll plead not guilty and defend himself in court." William Massey, the attorney who represents Emmett Martin III, said, "We have been expecting it, and we are ready to move forward." Tadarius Bean's attorney, John Perry, said he had no comment. I'm sorry about that. The indictment outlines in detail what prosecutors allege were efforts by the 5 officers to brutally assault Nichols, purposely ignore his need for immediate medical attention, and later seek to cover up their actions. Each of these defendants, according to the indictment, were involved in the beating of Nichols during the January 7th traffic stop, and none relayed information about their assault to the Memphis police dispatcher, the supervisor, or the EMTs or paramedics who were coming to the scene. The officers allegedly spoke at the scene about how they struck Nichols, including hitting Nichols with straight haymakers, taking turns hitting him with so many pieces, but they also did not relay the information to the first responders or their supervisors, even as his condition deteriorated and he became unresponsive The indictment alleges. The indictment also alleges the officers used their body-worn cameras to limit the capture of evidence, with Martin moving his body cam to a location where the assault of Nichols wouldn't be captured, and Haley and Smith also activating their cameras after the group attacked Nichols. After EMTs arrived, Haley and Mills removed their body-worn cameras, and the group allegedly discussed their assault of Nichols, making statements like everybody was rocking his ass. Pop, pop, please fall. And I thought, when was he going to go? He wasn't going to go down and fall. We about to kill this man. Afterward, the police station, the group met and lied to an MPD, Memphis Police Department detective, about the arrest and the indictment. And the incident report. The indictment alleges claiming Nichols had actively resisted arrest by pulling gun belts and grabbing one of the officers by his vest. Mills and Smith also falsely told the detective that Nichols was so strong that he lifted 2 officers into the air. The group further omitted information about how they punched and kicked Nichols, and the eventual incident reported falsely stated after several verbal commands, detectives were able to get the suspect into custody. All right, guys, that was the article that I read to you. I want to say something real quick and break down a couple of these charges. Now, we know they got the state charges, second-degree murder, and all of that other stuff. These federal charges are a little bit different because you remember the Department of Justice, Federal Department of Justice, that came down there and they were listening to complaints and stuff from Scorpion Unit and other cases where, it was said that it was excessive force used by the Memphis Police Department. Now, the charges that these gentlemen are charged with on a federal level are as follows. They're indicted on charges related to the deprivation of rights under the color of law. Let's go with that first. What that means is basically color of law is like how somebody, it's when a public official or some type of official that upholds the law or has power goes excessively over and they do something that's extreme that they shouldn't have to do, but all in the name of saying, hey, I had to do it in order to do this. Like, in the article, it says, he wouldn't go down. We might have to kill him. Remember that? And he wound up dying. That falls under the color of law, meaning you didn't have to kill him, but he wound up dying anyway, because you weren't supposed to even, there are different ways. They use their title, say, I had no choice. Basically, it's a I had no choice clause. That's what they got in trouble for. That's the first part. Second thing is including excessive force. They beat on them. Went over the top with it. Failure to intervene, which we talked about. There's certain mandates out there where cops are responsible to stop other cops that are doing this kind of stuff, not join in with it. And as well as deliberate indifference and conspiracy to witness tampering. They touched the body cameras, and the deliberate indifference is not showing any compassion for him being a citizen and not resisting arrest, while all the while of changing the story and acting like he was crazy. Did you see at the bottom? Now, I like this article because it named names in this, and it said a lot of stuff of who said what, and we have went over this. A lot of you guys been with me since this Tyre Nichols thing, and we already talked about this, but it was just crazy how they put it all out here in the open for everybody to see. And like I said, Demetrius Haley is the stupidest one. He the dumbest one. He did all the talking. That's why those last tapes were supposed to come out to the public and never came out. It blew the case wide open. And remember, the lawyers was like, we want to see the tapes first. Don't put the tapes out. Put a halt and put it out in the public, because already too much was said with Demetrius Haley running his mouth after this traffic stop and them taking the cameras off. It was all on camera. They got him dead to rights, guys. You ain't got to worry about Tyre Nichols getting justice. They got him dead to right. Look, Officer Ledley spoke at the scene about how they struck Nichols, including hitting Nichols with straight haymakers and taking turns hitting him with so many pieces. Meaning like, I gave him a 3-piece. I gave him a 2-piece. But they also did not relay the information the first responders meaning, hey, we had to beat on him. That's why he looks like that. He took an immense amount of trauma for us to apprehend him. They never said nothing. So his condition was open. He could hardly talk. You remember? He was on the ground writhing in pain. They also did not relay the information to first responders or the supervisor. Remember Dwayne Smith standing there like a dumbass. Even as his condition deteriorated and he became unresponsive, the indictment alleges. And it says, the indictment also alleged, like we read before, they moved their body cameras and limited the capture of evidence with moving the body cam to a location where the assault of Nichols wouldn't be captured. They putting it right out there in the open. It's a lot of questions that got to be answered. Now, I will tell you this, right? I'm going to say this last part. I just seen this. And this is sad, y'all. It says, Haley and Mills removed their body-worn cameras. Remember, Desmond Mills Jr. was the one hitting him with the baton in the face, remember? And Haley was the one that came up later while they was fighting, and they had him down already. The group allegedly discussed their assault of Nichols, making statements like, everybody was rocking his ass. Pop, pop. Please fall. And I thought when he was going to fall, we about to kill this man. And that's one of the things that made me mad about this whole situation, guys. You guys can read it. I mean, more news is going to come out. These dudes are idiots. Like I said before, they're nothing but ninjas in a badge. They are. These guys were so unprofessional behind, and being police officers at the same time. It's a wonder they had their job. I mean, is it that much of a shortage of police officers that they just keep people on the force that shouldn't be in a position to arrest anybody because them themselves are crooked? My biggest thing with this whole thing is they're black officers and they did that to somebody that's black. That's my big thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody black knows that police deal with black folk in certain areas a certain way. They know this. They went over the top. You see what I'm saying? And I can't let that go. That's why I want to go down there and follow this trial. This will be the first big story I follow all the way to the end, and there'll be others behind this. But this type of stuff, man, I mean, I have to see these. I got to see them up close. This is just me. I got to see them. You know what I mean? It says afterward at the police station, listen to this. The group met and lied to a Memphis Police Department detective about the arrest. In the incident report, they claimed Nichols had actively resisted arrest by pulling gun belts and grabbing one officer by his vest. Now, I'm explaining something to you. He was trying to get to his feet. I don't remember him grabbing nobody. I might go look at the video again, as horrifying as it is. But I mean, even if you're getting beat, if you ever seen people get jumped, what's the first thing they do when they do soaring? They try to grab for something to get up. So that right there, I ain't feeling it. It says Desmond Mills Jr. and Justin Smith also falsely told the detective that Nichols was so strong, he lifted two officers into the air. Now, I said this before, no disrespect to Tyre Nichols' stature, man. The man looked like rope. Which one of these big-ass officers did he pick up? Not one, but two. These some big dudes. Kadarius Bean got size on him. They short. I know he ain't pick up fat-ass Desmond Mills, and I know he didn't pick up Emmett Martin. One of these guys was an offensive lineman in college. The other dude was a linebacker, and I think one was a defensive end. Come on. Come on. Who he pick up? Stupid stuff. Listen, I'm starting to get hyped. This is going to be interesting. In closing, I'm going to say this. Remember I said C.J. Davis might be in trouble and stuff? This right here, I see why now the mayor is like, we didn't do anything. We didn't teach them that. Yeah, they did stuff before, but we didn't teach them that. You know what they're hanging their hopes on? The fact that the excessive force was so excessive in this case, and it was so outside of their police training, they're trying to detach themselves saying, hey, no officer acts like that. We know better. And they're trying to get that. But I'm telling you, the feds have picked this up already. And they already know when the feds pick it up, there's some validity to it. So y'all can kiss that 550 million goodbye or settle or try to settle. There's no way you get it. Once the feds pick this up, I know right now, Mayor Strickland scratching his head. Damn. CJ Davis sitting back. And I guarantee you, one or two things gonna happen with CJ Davis. Either now the feds got her, so it ain't no motion to not take the stand. She either sweating bullets right now, or she gonna run her ass real quick to the feds. I spoke in front of Congress. I'll give you anything you need. You know me. And try to like suck up so she ain't gotta be put a part of this. And she gonna say and write what she have to do to further disassociate herself from these rogue officers that ran rampant in the Scorpion unit that she produced. Watch me when I tell you. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. It's good news today. You know what I'm saying? Fuck these dudes. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment, man. Tell me what y'all think. Ain't no way they getting off the hook now. The feds involved. And look, their charges was different than theirs. So soon as they get done doing state time, right to the feds they go. Ain't no coming home. Ain't no coming home. Tyre Nichols gonna get his justice. And I hope his family get that money or wherever that money got to go to. I hope they get that money because this right here is intolerable.